glitter of jets in an open sky, a streak of gray, and a cheerful...
A loop, a whirl, and a vertical climb, and once again you'll know it's time for the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and friends.
Starring that supersonic speedster, Rocket J. Squirrel, with his pal Bullwinkle the Moose, and a host of others.
Hurry, Bullwinkle! The show's about to start!
I'm coming as fast as I can.
Wave to the people!
Yay!
Now what are you doing?
Signing autographs. Let's see. John Smith.
But your name is Bullwinkle.
I know, but that's hard to spell.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. Come on and join us.
Sure, there's always room for one more.
When our last episode was switched off in utter disgust by over 37 million anxious viewers, those two wrongs, Boris and Natasha, were proving they couldn't make a right bad idea.
Think, darling, think. There must be something really rotten we can do today.
I'm thinking, but the worst I come up with is helping to make Moose and Squirrel show 1 hour longer.
Oh, just like you, darling. Always trying to help others get a little more pain out of life.
Then suddenly a thought struck him like a 20,000-volt charge.
Boris, you have great idea.
No, but I have defective cord and electric pencil sharpener.
I have it, darling. A contest. I like being evil because, in 25 words or less.
I like it.
And so the twisted and foul contest found its way to people in every walk of life.
Hey, Gurney, my lunch is wrapped here in a paper telling about that evil contest. You figuring to enter? Gurney always was one to try a thing out first before he'd send it in.
I hate to do this, but I've entered that contest.
Help yourself. I'm entering too, so I've been selling fake jewelry all week. The wife's home with the real stuff.
So by the time you find this note, Fred, I will be gone with a swag and maybe first prize in the contest.
The contest was racing across the country like wildfire.
Oh, it's gratifying to know there's still some bad left in the world.
True enough, to enter a contest this vile, one would have to be a pretty low, contemptible, loathsome type.
You left out naughty.
A loathsome and naughty type, or just plain stupid.
Hold up a minute, Rock. I gotta mail this contest entry blank in.
Bullwinkle, you mean you entered that Why I Like Evil contest?
Evil? I thought it said Weevil.
Well, why should you like a weevil?
'Cause I had distributing rights on them for 2 years. I almost made a fortune.
Almost made a fortune. Well, what happened, Bullwinkle?
They had cotton all over him. It drove the prices down.
And as sure as the post office department sells 4-cent stamps commemorating the birth of Raymond Navarro, Bullwinkle had come up with a winning entry in Boris's despicable contest.
Listen to this. I like evil because I have complete distributing rights for it in Moosylvania. That's it. First prize.
Back at the post office.
Bullwinkle, do you realize that you mailed a contest blank that says you have the distributing rights on evil someplace?
It's just from Moosylvania.
Moosylvania? What's that?
What's that? I wish I could remember.
If only Bullwinkle could remember. Moosylvania was and is a small land adjacent to the United States, populated by absolutely no one. 0 people, 0 production, 0 space development, 0 everything. But on the other hand, no taxes, no laws, no traffic, no extradition treaties, and no late shows that feature Johnny Downs and Richard Dix as 2 men lost over a Pacific island.
I have it!
You have what, Bullwinkle?
I have Moosylvania. I just remembered. It's been handed down in my family. I'm governor, superintendent, owner, and cleanup janitor.
But at that very second that Bullwinkle was delivering those staggeringly funny lines, the contest first prize was speeding its way toward him.
What did you send, Boris Sweetovich?
A complete set of the Encyclopedia Bad Enough.
And
when you open volume 7, Mastodon through Muskox.
Which includes Moosylvania.
And also 237 kilotons of TNT. package for Bullwinkle J. Moose.
Oh, goody. I'll bet it's those Billy Sol seed kits I ordered from the Department of Agriculture.
Oh, what can happen on our next nerve-pulsating episode? Blast off Speedia with Encyclopedia or Off to Heaven with Volume 7?
And now it's time for...
Time for the dancing fool, Bullwinkle.
Again? And now for one of our special fairy tales.
Yeah.
Once there lived a young man who, more than anything else, wanted to become a traveling minstrel.
Yeah, like I want to wander through the kingdom giving concerts on my flat.
You mean your flute.
This is a flat. A flat is like a flute. You might say it's sort of a flat flute.
He had practiced the flat for 5 years and at last felt he was ready for his debut. He rented the Hamlin Concert Hall, dressed in a variegated suit of clothing, billed himself as the Pied Piper. The house was filled, the lights were dimmed, silence fell over the great hall, and he began. Unfortunately, however, even after he had begun to play, the hall was still silent, for the flat was such a high-pitched instrument that no human ear could hear it. The only ones able to hear the flat music were the mice of the kingdom, and they did not like what they heard. Oh, my, no.
Ooh, that is piercing.
That's the flattest I ever heard.
Let's cut out of here. I can't stand it.
And with that, mice left the kingdom in droves. But the audience, still unable to hear a thing, just sat, waiting for the concert to begin. In fact, they sat for 2 weeks before they knew it was over. It seemed as though the poor Pied Piper was a flop as a flautist, but a roaring success as an exterminator. Doing the only thing left for him to do, he took his flat and opened up an exterminator business and was summoned by the king for his very first job.
Hi, Highness. You have an exterminating job for me to do?
Yes, I do.
Fine. What's the pest? Rats, cats, bats, lice, mice?
No, my mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law? But mothers-in-law are human.
Oh, yeah?
You fat, pompous little worm! King or no king, you're a nincompoop! And let me tell you...
That's human?
But only mice are able to hear the flat music. And if your mother-in-law can't hear it, it couldn't possibly drive her away.
Well, what do mice have that mothers-in-law don't have? Why are they the only ones that can hear your flat?
Well, maybe it's something they eat, sire.
This set the king to thinking.
Eating lots of carrots gives you good eyes. Mice eat lots of cheese. Maybe that's what gives them good ears.
I think that's logic, sire.
I'm going to feed that old meanie cheese until it's coming out of her big ears.
And with that, the king gathered up cheeses by the score and set them before his mother-in-law.
Look, Mama, all for you. You open your big mouth now and eat all you want.
You're being nice to me. What are you up to, Weasel?
Nothing.
They're poisoned, aren't they?
Oh, come now, Mama. Would I try to poison my own mother-in-law?
Yes.
You're right.
What?
I said they're all right. Watch, I'll eat some.
The mother-in-law watched the king closely, and when he didn't drop dead, decided it was safe and tried some cheese herself.
Say, this is good.
Oh, the plan was working, but in order to keep her eating, the king had to eat cheese too. For 3 months, they ate gobs of Gouda, pecks of provolone, racks of Roquefort, and lots of Limburger. Finally, the king figured it was time to put the scheme to a test.
Psst, Pipey, now, give a blat on your flat and we'll see what happens.
Right, sire.
What was that?
It worked.
The cheese had done the trick. They had both heard the flat clear as a bell. Now, the mother-in-law could be exterminated with no trouble at all. The king packed her bags, had a carriage waiting at the front gate so that she could make a quick getaway, and sent the piper off to do his stuff. The Pied Piper played his flat for the mother-in-law like he had never played before, but with rather surprising results.
My, what haunting music. Where could it be coming from? Why, it's you.
Yes, ma'am. Doesn't it give you that want-to-run-away feeling?
Heavens, no, I simply love it. More. Play more.
The Pied Piper, never having had anyone like his flat music before, immediately fell madly in love with the king's mother-in-law and played for her with all of his heart.
Like, go, man, go!
Oh, that awful flat music. Stop that this instant, you. I command you.
See here, Runt. I happen to like flat music, and if you don't, you know what you can do.
The king did know, and he did. He dashed to the waiting carriage and he sped away for parts unknown, never to be seen again.
Now then, are you ready, dear?
Yes, my love.
It was quite clear that the king's mother-in-law and the Pied Piper were meant for each other, and they were soon married. In the months to follow, it was decided that all in the kingdom should be allowed to enjoy flat music. So the castle was converted into a concert hall, and flat concerts were held nightly. And, oh yes, to ensure the audience of hearing the music, the eating of cheese was highly encouraged. Instead of a popcorn stand, a cheese stand was put in the lobby, so when the patrons came to the concert...
Yes, sir. Would you like some cheddar?
No.
Camembert?
No.
Gorgonzola?
No.
Well, for pity's sake, what do you want, then?
Take me to your liederkranz.
Eeny, meeny, chilly beany, the spirits are about to speak.
Are they friendly spirits?
Friendly? Just listen.
And now for the poetic part of our show, we present Bullwinkle's Corner.
Greetings, culture crowd. Today's poem is an old Greek classic called The Horn. I translate. Little boy blue, come blow your horn. The sheep...
Hold it.
What?
I forgot my music. Okay, let's go.
That's kind of a big horn, ain't it?
It's a big part.
Oh. Little boy blue, come blow your horn. The sheep's in the meadow. The cow's in the corn.
Boy, that's hard work.
Oh, where is the boy who looks after the sheep?
Don't ask me. I'm a musician myself.
He's under a haystack fast asleep is where, doggone it.
Why'd you call this poem The Horn anyway?
'Cause obviously that's what the little boy blew.
And now it's time...
Time for that jolly juggler, Bullwinkle.
Oh, dear.
3 at once. 1, 2...
And now here's a feature you're sure to like.
3.
Sunset, the time of day when most Canadians bring home the bacon. And one Canadian brings home the ham. The Canadian is Dudley Do-Right, ace do-gooder of the mounted police. The ham, and he's usually boiled, is that arch-villain and scourge of 2 continents, Snidely Whiplash. Each day at sundown, Dudley brings Whiplash into the post and places him under lock and key.
This is a waste of my time, Do-Right. Each night you lock me up, and each morning I escape.
You shall not escape tonight, Whiplash.
Dudley's optimism was based on the fact that he had set up an elaborate alarm system completely encircling the cell. He made one slight error. He locked himself in the cell, not Whiplash.
Ta-ta, Do-Right.
But on his way to the gate, Whiplash ran into trouble, for Dudley's horse, angered at finding water in the water trough, lashed out his great hooves in anger, striking a not too innocent passerby. 1 hour later, Inspector Fenwick, post commander, made a routine check of the jail.
Ah, Do-Right, still up, I see.
Yes, sir. I am keeping a vigil on Whiplash.
That's doing it the Mountie way, my boy. I must get him out of my slick-down hair once and for all.
Pen in hand, Whiplash outlined a daring plan.
Here is the post. Up here is my sawmill. If I can lure Do-Right to the mill, I can destroy him forever. But how to lure him?
Those evil eyes darted about the room until...
To Nell with love, horse. Egad, that's it!
This time he went in search of Dudley's horse. Once again he received a well-placed hoof, but he was prepared for it. And up he soared, out of the post.
Do-Right, I don't know how he did it, but Whiplash has escaped.
Are you sure, sir? I mean, have you looked in his cell?
You look, Do-Right.
By George, you're right, sir. He is missing. But never fear, I will bring him in. Again.
At that very moment, his valiant charger was gobbling up a trail of oats that led to Whiplash's sawmill.
Ah, here comes the horse. Step number 1 in my plan.
And what a plan it was. The horse walked right into the trap and was made prisoner.
And who will come after the horse?
Not Dudley. He was having trouble locating the stable.
Ah, fair Nell. Have you seen the stable lately?
No, I haven't, Dudley, and I can't help you look for it. I have a luncheon engagement with your horse.
Oh? Say, after lunch, would you ask him to saddle up? I have a job to do.
Nell was on her way to the PX when she spied some familiar hoof prints.
Dudley's horse. I'd know them anywhere.
And off she went in hot pursuit.
Aha, step number 2. The fair and lovely Nell is approaching.
Nell, too, fell victim to Whiplash's terrible design.
And who will come after Nell?
Not Dudley. He was still searching for the stable.
Pardon me, Inspector, but I seem to have misplaced the stable.
No time to help you, Do-Right. I'm due to make a speech at luncheon.
With Nell and my horse?
Yes.
Inspector Fenwick scurried off. Then he, too, spotted the telltale tracks.
That horseshoe print with a broken nail, that's Nell's left foot.
By 3 in that afternoon, Whiplash had in his power Dudley's horse, Nell, the inspector, and most of the Mounties in the general area.
What's keeping that dolt Do-Right? He should have been here long ago.
In case you're wondering, Dudley had found the stable. He was now looking for a way to get out of it.
There must be a door somewhere.
There was. It opened, and in walked a messenger boy.
You constable, Do-Right.
I think so.
Dudley took the telegram and ripped it open.
Dear Dolt. Can't spell Dudley. Unless you come to my sawmill, I shall blow up Nell, the inspector, your fellow Mounties, and your horse. My horse!
He arrived at the sawmill in jigsaw time.
And you will let my horse go free if I surrender to you?
Everybody goes free.
The exchange was made. Inspector Fenwick, Nell, and the Mounties bid a tearful farewell and returned to the post. As for Dudley, he was tied to a chair infested with sticks of dynamite.
Do right, you'll never do right again.
A match was struck, the fuse was lit, and Whiplash dashed off over the horizon.
Daddy, dear, don't keep looking out the window in the direction of the sawmill. It can't help.
I know it, Nell. It's only Do-Right we're losing, and yet... Well, there he goes.
Just then, the door burst open and...
It is me! I, sir!
Dudley!
Do-Right!
I fooled him, Inspector. I made him think I blew up.
But how?
With this record. It has 33 1/3 long-playing explosions on it. He only heard an explosion.
But the sticks of dynamite.
Don't worry about that, sir. I have them here.
Do-Right! Come down here!
Private Bullwinkle, sir, with a message.
Just in time.
Is it important?
Is it? Just look.
In our last episode, Boris Badenov and his equally vicious friend Natasha had found the perfect way to acquire a lifetime supply of fiendishly tricky ideas.
A contest. I like evil because in 25 words or less.
It could be even bigger than the Sonny Tufts for President movement.
And it was. Entries poured in from every corner of the world.
Merle, don't you think as astronauts we ought to tell them the Earth ain't round? It's got corners?
Shucks, Otis, lying to him might be a way to win that evil contest.
Shifty people everywhere responded in 25 words or less. Shifty, or those whose cerebral functions respond conversely to the impulse transitions normally required for a motory reflex action. Or in other words, stupid.
Well, I've mailed my contest blank.
Bullwinkle, you've entered the evil contest.
Oh, I thought it was Weevil.
And you guessed it, Bullwinkle has been judged first prize winner. And the first prize was a complete set of the Encyclopedia Badenov, designed to eradicate Bullwinkle and Rocky.
When they turn to Volume 7, Mastodon through Muskox?
Moosylvania will be a boomtown.
Mastodon, Macedonia, mulching, it's here someplace.
Now, darling, he has turned to Moosylvania.
Monocle, mother. Here it is, Rock. Moosylvania.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Says here, Moosylvania, although eminently qualified for statehood in the U.S., has never made the grade. Huh, wonder why.
If the flash lasts this long, the boom will be a Lulu.
No flash and no boom boom Lulu, Boris.
And Bullwinkle read on about the tragically narrow misses Moosylvania had had in its fight for statehood.
Then it is agreed, gentlemen, that the 13 original colonies shall join with Moosylvania and become the 14 United States of America.
Hey, hold it! When you bring a job to the Betsy Ross Flag Manufacturing Company, there ain't no alterations included. Now, if you want 14 stars instead of 13, that comes extra.
Yes, Moosylvania was the first victim of government's fight against deficit spending. Over and over again, Moosylvania had narrowly missed statehood, and as Bullwinkle read on, tears formed in his sympathetic eyes.
Golly, Bullwinkle, why are you crying?
Well, Rock, it's because...
Hello, Moose and Squirrel, first place contest winners. You sure you're reading about Moosylvania?
Nope. That's why I was crying, 'cause I can't read, and I was running out of stuff I'd memorized.
Look, Moose, you got the wrong book. Eureka Truglefny.
Show him, wonderful twisted genius.
See? Mastodon, Macedonia, Mulching.
Boris, no.
Moosylvania.
But seconds before the dreadful explosion, Rocky and Bullwinkle had slipped away to catch the 526 for Washington, D.C., where they were about to launch a gigantic campaign.
Statehood for Moosylvania, Rock. Just think.
Golly, Bullwinkle, just like Hawaii and Alaska.
Gee whiz, Rock, they trying to get it too?
But as the train flashed on, Boris Badenov was no longer idle.
Boris, the Moose and Squirrel, they left on train for Washington.
Is all part of prearranged master plan.
How despicably clever of you, darling. You mean train is...
Exactly. Headed for fake Washington, D.C. Is really Butte, Montana, completely disguised to look like capital of U.S.
What unspeakably twisted scheme does Boris have in mind? We'll find out in our next episode called Resign Your Fate to a 52nd State or Moosylvania Mania.
Well, it looks as if our time is just about run out.
Mine must be a little slow.
You got the credits, Bullwinkle?
All on this itty-bitty card. Oop.
We're late again, Bullwinkle.
Right.
Bye now. See you next time.